The meaninglessness of life yawns before us, not in the charnel pit, filled with its fetid decay, but in the eyes of an infant child, born into the world only to weep for some deathly disease turning its flesh inside out. What is the purpose of such agonies? For something so pure as a clean slate to be tarnished and stained by a splash of gore across the canvas. The universe looks on upon the child's screeches, unfeeling and without a hint of regret. You may cry against the obscenities of existence, but your voice will only echo in that great pit looming above our heads. Your voice will fall flat at your feet, unheard and unheeded. What is life, you may ask, but a devil's toy? In my 17th year, I was gripped by the misery of life, as Buddha had been in his youth when he saw sickness, old age, pain, and death. The truth was that this world could not have been the work of an all-loving being, but rather that of a devil who had brought creatures into existence in order to delight in their sufferings. Arthur Schopenhauer. No true God would allow such evils, would he? Where is God? Nowhere, you may at last reply, caught up in your atheistic fury. If there is no God to lend you his graces, what is the purpose of living in the godless universe left behind? What stands between us and the dangling noose, beckoning us so softly? Acceptance. The world only feels empty because we supposed there was some meaning to fill in the void at some point. But no, there has always been nothing to fill in the great chasm. It was, and always will be, a vast vacuum. The first step is to accept this and, perhaps, inject a creation of your own into that great gap. This is what existentialists do. To say that we invent values means nothing else but this: life has no meaning a priori. Before you come alive, life is nothing. It's up to you to give it a meaning. And value is nothing else but the meaning you give. In that way, you see, there is a possibility of creating a community. Jean-Paul Sartre. This is where the story ends in many cases. But some of us are not satisfied. Truly, is this meaning worth anything at all if we, as debased and faulty humans, created ourselves? Suddenly, everything is subjective and madness ensues. There are several options laid out before us. We can abandon our atheistic rage and become like Soren Kierkegaard, making a philosophical leap of faith into Christendom, thus injecting God into the gap once again. We can be like Albert Camus and accept the universe as absurd, embracing it for that very fact, and thus accepting that the emptiness is nonsensical. Or we can go with option 3. The world is not empty of meaning. To say it is empty of something is to say that it is supposed to have something there. It is to say there is a crevice needing to be filled. But there is no crevice. There is no hole in need of being filled. Life is just that. Life. It needs no meaning. Meaning is a concept we as humans have projected upon the universe. The only thing we need to concern ourselves with is living the best we possibly can. The answer to what is the best way to live may vary among individuals, but the purpose remains the same: to live peacefully and in union with creation. There doesn't need to be some overarching meaning to make us feel better. No, we must merely live. Live. Perhaps this method of living can be interpreted as the meaning of existence. It doesn't matter in the end, just as long as we understand that there needn't be a reason to give in to existential despair.